I'm John Houston. I'm the keyboard player at the Hale concert hall in Gilbert, Arizona, for the Pink Floyd tribute. I'm just going to kind of give you a rundown on what I got going on here. They wanted to get 2 keyboard players, but it turned out to not be financially viable. There's a lot of spots in which you kind of need 4 hands to make this all happen, several feet. So I'm just going to give you a little walkthrough here. I'm using the Behringer Poly D for the Mini Moog, Mini Moog sounds, and of course, you know, there's no presets. It's all, I have to just put it on paper. I have to write it out, the sounds that I've created to try to mimic the original recordings. And so I just kind of have to preset this stuff, and then I end up having to turn knobs as the show moves along to accommodate minor changes in sound as we go. The cool thing about this instrument is that it's got a chorus and it's got a distortion circuit, which the original Mini didn't have. So sometimes that's handy, and if I need a little more sustain, and I find if I turn on the distortion, it cuts some of the low frequencies out. So I'm going to look at On the Run, for instance. There's a second synthesizer, and I got nothing. Let me lower the volume down. How about that? And you'll see that's pretty bass heavy. If I hit the distortion circuit, takes some of the bottom out and it makes it sustain a little longer. Anyway, so I have to preset a lot of this stuff so that it's just ready to go. We're doing Dark Side of the Moon, the whole thing, just start to finish, and once you get going, I don't have time to fool around with all that. So to get started with, I've got a Rhodes in my left hand, and I've got a Hammond in my right hand, Leslie on my right foot, and volume pedal and sustain pedal. Sustain pedal I use with my left foot, volume and Leslie with my right. And then when it breaks from that song, it goes from Breathe spot where it's got the big growly bits. On the Run, so I hit that big low note with a Hammond. Try to get the Hammond out of the way. I've already pre-sequenced the On the Run sequence is already in here. So as I turn the volume up, resonance, and the ADSR. the sequence, I hit a low E, and I hit that at the same time. Which fades into Time is the next song. I've got to get to a Farfisa sound immediately. I don't have a Farfisa, I've got a Hammond. I've just used fundamentals, and I pulled the bottom draw bars really low so it's thin. I've got it set on a really cheesy Italian style vibrato, so it kind of sounds horrible, which is exactly what the song needs. And then this song also has a low, like a mini moog bass sound that comes in every other bar, which I've got programmed into the deep mine so I can hit the low note. And it'll sustain long enough to get to the next chord change. So with the Farfisa, so you hit the bass note, etc., etc. Then in this song, there's a bridge at the end, and I have to change from the Farfisa to a Hammond sound to get ready for the song that comes immediately after, which is Great Gig in the Sky. The Wurlitzer, by the way, I bought brand new when I was a teenager. I bought this when I was 16 years old, 1977. So I get to keep that same sound for now. I don't have to worry about it. I have to, as I'm playing, I have to change from the Rhodes to a piano, and I have to change from the Farfisa to a Hammond. So when we're doing the end of the song, start into gig as I fade out. Sustain pedal with my left foot so I can run the volume, and the Leslie with my right foot for the Hammond. Etc. Anyway, the band's in right there, so there's all kinds of bass or steel guitars sliding in and all that kind of stuff. And then from there it goes into Money, which is still using that same low frequency sound. That covers the hard part of the show. Us and Them, Hammond, the piano solo. The next hairy one would be Shine On You Crazy Diamond. And that one, I get to start out with a Solina. I'm using this keyboard to drive the Solina and the Pro One. The Pro One is running the sequence, which will turn off, because if you turn on the Solina while that's on, that'll be a mess. I take this little guy and I hold down that low key, because I have to play a synth solo. So while I'm doing all this, I have to come over here to this guy and I have to change these settings. We have to set it up for the next song. We try to warm up and I do this in between acts. I very quickly make these adjustments. start the second act. And we do the short version of it. Anyway, it'll be shorter, you know. The guitar player comes in, I start fading it down. The guitar player does a da-dee-da-dum. I start sneaking the Hammond in. Da-dee-da-da. Then the drums and everybody build up to that big C chord. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee, etc. And I've got the drawbar set right-ish. I mean, I've got the bottom 4 full on, and I pull out the next 2, just some to give it a little more top. Anyway, I think it gets pretty close. Anyhow, we're gonna have a we're going to pause this, and we'll have a recording from the actual show tonight, and we'll see how we do. Hopefully I don't break the suck meter. Thanks for joining.